Chip Ganassi Racing is here to announce a brand new driver next season to replace Kurt Busch in the one car, and that is Noah Gragson getting the call to replace Kurt Busch, the 2004 Cup Series champion. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day, fresh off with this brand new news of Gragson replacing Kurt Busch. There you see the news announcement right there, and we take to Twitter to see just the tweet from Chip Ganassi Racing saying he's set to replace Kurt Busch in the one car next season. We're very excited and hope you are too. And I respond, happy for you, Noah, congrats. And there is the paint scheme for Noah Gragson next season. He's bringing Switch back to the car. A very nice looking paint scheme, of course, made by my friend Ronaldo, who does an incredible job every time in making these paint schemes. And we jump straight into this Atlanta Motor Speedway weekend here with the Truck Series. All three series of the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as Cup Series going for this episode here in Atlanta. And I can tell you guys right off the bat, this is a very action-packed episode in the Cup races. We get ready to go here as we have a subscriber, of course, picked every single Truck Series race to be in the truck, and we started P2 this time out here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. We had subscriber Jacob Soulier in the truck here as he dived down into turns one, actually taking a very early lead. I hope I pronounced his last name correct. It was a bit of a tough one. It was either Soulier or Soulier, but either way, Jacob in the truck here as he goes down this back straightaway opened up a huge lead right off the bat here in Atlanta. Atlanta being a pretty good track for us in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series in past races here in the career mode. And Jacob, like I said, just took the lead early on here in this race in Atlanta and really wouldn't look back throughout this race. He would come through a little bit later here as he dives down towards turns one, and he's just driving away from the field. Nobody could put any pressure on Jacob here as he was just dominating here in Atlanta as he nearly gets into the outside wall. He actually did tag the outside wall there on the exit of turn two, but it really didn't affect him anything. So we come through to the later portions of this race and just the same situation, a very calm and tame race for Jacob now as he came through turn three and out of four, nearly getting into the outside wall there, but we come through right to the final lap of this race through once again 3 and 4 in the Tix Camping World 200 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jacob comes through to cross the line to pick up our very first win as a Truck Series team here in Atlanta. So it only took a couple races, I think our third race, and we were able to get a win as an owner in the Truck Series. So this will always go down as our first Truck Series win as an owner here in the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode for Going Racing now. So very happy and satisfied to get this victory, and hopefully we can carry this throughout the rest of the season here in the Truck Series there as you see Jacob Soulier with the victory. Now as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, Haley Deegan, the rookie, down there in P17. Not a great effort for her. Jason White down there in that last position, but now it's time to go through into the Xfinity Series race here in the career mode. So always excited to get going for the number 20 All-Star car for Joe Gibbs Racing, which this time out we had myself in the car for the Xfinity race. So I was very excited to have the opportunity to hopefully get ourselves maybe another potential Xfinity Series victory, as it's been a little bit since we visited victory lane here in the Xfinity Series, as well as it's been a little bit since we've been into the Cup Series victory lane now, as we didn't have as good of a qualifying effort as we saw from Jacob in the truck, but we were up inside the top 10 and we were looking to get aggressive early on here in Atlanta Motor Speedway, going 3 wide up there up the inside of Jeffrey Earnhardt as we dive down into the corner, now into P5 already, as we're also going to get up the inside of the one car of Michael Annett, who actually won the championship in the last season of the Xfinity Series here in our career mode. Now as we're side by side with him down the back straightaway right behind Brandon Brown as we dive down into turn 3, now trying to get to the inside of him if possible. Now as we come through out of turns 4, we got our teammates Brandon Jones up there leading the race side by side actually with Justin Allgaier for that lead position here as we come through, putting the pressure on Brandon Brown as we dive down toward turn 1, nearly making contact with the 86 car now as we come through the center of turns 1 and 2, and now we're going to get up the inside of Brown and we're going to be able to pass him for that third position and then immediately get to the inside of Justin Allgaier for P2, and now we're going to move up into P2 right behind our teammate Brandon Jones. Obviously, you guys know that we will not be returning to Joe Gibbs Racing next season, so these are the final handful of Xfinity races that I'll be doing for Joe Gibbs Racing, and sure enough, the very next lap I would be able to get up the inside of Brandon Jones and take the lead down the back straightaway from the Xfinity Series regular now, and we would not look back once I took the lead here in Atlanta, similar to how Jacob Soulier would just run away with the victory in Atlanta for us in the Truck Series. Well, we were in the same situation here as we dive down through turn 3 and 4 here, trying to just hang on to to victory for the first time this season in the Xfinity Series. It's been a bit of a rough start for us in the Xfinity Series with the star car, but we come through to pick up the victory here in Atlanta in the Xfinity Series. So very happy with that now as we do our burnout there. So 2 for 2 as an owner and now a driver here today in Atlanta. So hopefully we can carry this over into the Cup Series and maybe go 3 for 3 as an owner winner on trucks, an Xfinity driver winner, and then hopefully a Cup Series winner here in just another 25 minutes or so. Now, as you see the finishing order again on your screen of the Xfinity Series, Zane Smith, the rookie, up there inside the top 10. 14th place for Todd Gilliland, a subpar effort for him. The two rookies that we're really watching out for that could get a jump up to the Cup Series relatively soon in this career mode as well. But now it is time to go through into the Cup Series weekend here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, fresh off the news of Noah Gragson replacing Kurt Busch in the one car next season for our career mode. Gragson currently drives that number 77 car, which is really a subpar car. He's just hanging on for the rest of the season, just trying to prove what he can do. But the October DLC just came out here, and now we are using the actual throwback Sports Clips paint scheme here at Atlanta. And I used it here instead of Darlington because I have something planned for Darlington that I can't really talk about yet for the throwback race, but that news will come out at a later date here as we come through in our qualifying lap now, heading through turn 3 as well as turns 4. The goal was a 29.270. We qualified in the top 10 for trucks and Xfinity, but we come through to cross the line here in the Cup qualifying at 29.473, and we go P16, so outside the top 10 unfortunately, but still a decent qualifying effort. So now we're going to check the rest of the order. Bubba Wallace up there in P15, last race's winner of Christopher Bell down there in P26 there. As you see, Eric Almirola with a bit of a rough qualifying effort. Kurt Busch 21st, Kyle Larson 20th, and then we got Alex Bowman there P11. But on pole, we got Martin Truex Jr., Daniel Suarez in that new Trackhouse team actually put that car up there in P8. So a very good, solid qualifying effort from Daniel Suarez. So maybe we're going to have to keep an eye on Suarez here out in this Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Daniel Suarez, of course, hasn't had the best start to his Cup Series career that he had imagined, starting for Joe Gibbs Racing. Kind of got rushed up from the Xfinity Series, and he's struggled ever since then, going to Stuart Haas Racing as well, and now the 96, and now to the 99 car of Trackhouse. Now, as he's looking, though, to turn things around there, as you see Chad Fincham starting at the back after failing a technical inspection. Ryan Newman failed optical scanning station multiple times, so he is starting at the back along with Chad Fincham now, as we are ready to take the green flag here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 now, as the green flag is underway from the 16th starting position. Our teammate of Martin Truex Jr. leads the field to the green flag as we start alongside the 23 of Bubba Wallace for 23-11 Racing now. As we dive down into the corner, Matt DiBenedetto up my inside behind us on that row. We got Cole Custer as well as Noah Gragson here as we already get into the back. Just a little bit of Chase Elliott, a bit of a stack up that I really wasn't anticipating now as we go down this backstretch. Still side by side with the Wood Brothers driver of Matt DiBenedetto. Joey Logano takes the early lead from Martin Truex Jr. Denny Hamlin actually battling for second place with our teammate at Truex. Hamlin, of course, won the Daytona 500 a few episodes ago, if you guys remember, holding us off for a second place finish, as we have finished in the top 10 so far every race this season, which when I say every race, we're only about 4 races in now as we dive down through turn 1 and turns 2. I decided to try this outside lane very early on, and it was pretty evident that it probably wasn't going to work now as we get right behind that 9 car of Chase Elliott, and we got the 43 of Larson up our inside here as we dive down into turns 3. The 96 of Suarez getting up my inside, or sorry, the 96 of the rookie of Harrison Burton, I should say, as we come through at a turns 4. So Custer clears us on the exit of the corner. The rookie of Burton gets up our inside there as we come through to cross the line and start this third lap here of this Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 here as we dive down into turn 1. So Truex now putting the pressure on the new leader of Denny Hamlin. So Logano, he's kind of faded back a little bit now as we're actually 3 wide down this back straightaway for a moment here as we're going to clear the 96 as well as the 41 into the corner and get up the inside now of the Hendrick Motorsports driver Chase Elliott. We pass him, then get up the inside of Kyle Larson here down the front straightaway and pass him, as well as the rookie of Chase Briscoe. Get up the inside of Matt DiBenedetto, as well as William Byron, running the Liberty paint scheme for the first time because that is brand new to the October DLC as we come through down this back straightaway, getting past Alex Bowman as well as we went down into turns 3 on lap 4 up the inside of Busch'S. So we're very quickly moving forwards once we got to this bottom lane now as we're going to go 3 wide up the inside of Bubba Wallace as well as Busch'S as we come through side by side with those two as we dive down into the corner. Logano kind of holding up this group right here as we're going to get up the inside as well of Kevin Harvick. So now up inside the top 10 we are here in Atlanta Motor Speedway, side by side with the Penske driver, the 2018 Cup Series champion and potentially the real life 2020 champion if he plays his cards right at Phoenix Raceway now as it came through on lap 7 Now running down Eric Jones in that 88 car, and we're going to pass him for P7 here, as he's actually going to try and battle back, though, on the outside here as we go down this back straightaway. There you see Daniel Suarez up there in P6 having a very solid run in that Trackhouse number 99 Camaro as we clear Eric Jones into turn 3, and sure enough, we run Daniel Suarez down for P6, and just showing the speed that we have in this car here today. Car's good, guys. We got something maybe that could be race winning potential here. So there you heard the radio transmission from myself. There's actually clipped the apron. Up the track we go. Suarez and Jones to the inside there as we save it. Now is behind us, though. Bubba Wallace goes spinning right in front of the pack. Big contact now as there's multiple cars involved, as now he gets back down to the bottom of the track. The caution comes out. Lots of damage for Bubba Wallace. Heavy contact there to the outside wall and a few other cars. Like I said, I think Tyler Reddick was one of them that got involved in that now. But caution's out. We come to the pit lane. 2 cans of fuel. 4 tires, very easy call, but very unfortunate for Bubba Wallace now, as he's had a bit of a rough start to the season. He had a solid run last time out, but unfortunately he is going to be an early exit to this race, which is now underway. But Bubba Wallace has DNF'd from this race, unfortunately, here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we got all of the Joe Gibbs Racing cars up inside the top 6. Truex, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, 1, 2, 3, and then myself down here in 6th place now as we come through the center of turns 1 and turns 2. Only at about the halfway point so far of this first stage, but it's already been a pretty action-packed first stage. A lot of good racing now as we go down side by side with Eric Jones here as we try to get past maybe Keselowski as well as Ryan Blaney, but a lot of a JGR versus Penske kind of scenario right here as we come through the center of turns 3 and 4. Suarez in that Trackhouse 99 car just behind us now as we got Eric Jones just in front of us side by side with the 2 of Keselowski, and then behind us we got Bowman in that 48 trying to pounce on us now as we dive down into turn 1. He hasn't certainly put up the results that Jimmy Johnson did at the end of last season now in that 48 car, but he's still running very solid, well inside the playoffs. Alex Bowman is right now as we're going to get aggressive there, making it 3 wide of the inside of Buescher and Keselowski. A very late move from myself, a very aggressive move from myself as Keselowski though clears Buescher, so now it's just myself and Buescher side by side. So we go down into turn 1, and now we're going to clear Buescher for 7th place. And now we set our sights on Denny Hamlin, who would get passed by Brad Keselowski, and also Keselowski passed the 88 car of Eric Jones as well. So we get up the inside of Hamlin. Sure enough, into turn 3, we continue this battle with Hamlin. Kurt Busch gets up the inside of Buescher behind us, and Kurt Busch is very fast. He closes up right to the back of my bumper now as we go down this front straightaway. But as that happens, Kurt Busch actually goes spinning right behind us across the line now, and that's going to bring out a caution. Big hits there for him and Daniel Suarez, who has nowhere to go. The caution is out, and a big incident right there for Kurt Busch as well, as the 99 car of Daniel Suarez. Caution, like I said, again, and we're going to not pit this time. Everybody is going to stay out as we can all make it to the end of this first stage here now. P7 is where we will restart, but so far, a bit of a wild start to this race here in Atlanta. A bit of a crash road start to this race as we get ready to go back green, and we are once again underway here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch on the front row now, though. Less than 10 laps remain in this first stage. We got the 88 just in front of us, but the 2 Penske drivers of Keselowski and Blaney up in front of us now as we're 3 wide with the 88 as well as the 11 car as we come through out of turn 2. So very aggressive from myself. I haven't really made a whole lot of aggressive moves this season on restarts, but there you saw one of them right there now as we're side by side with Hamlin into turns 3. Kyle Busch kind of drifting down the order a little bit as we're going to get up the inside as well of Blaney, who just left the door completely open. I pounce on the opportunity. 3 wide again now with Ryan Blaney as well as Kyle Busch. There is Blaney. He's going to kind of pull out of the 3 wide, and we clear him for P4 with 6 laps to go now in this first and opening stage in the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now side by side with Kyle Busch. There's we nearly drift up into him on the exit of the corner, but he clears us. But we continue this fight with Kyle Busch. We come through in lap 22, and I try to clear him into turns 3 and maybe get him on the exit of 4, but no, Kyle Busch. I was clear right there, but I just was trying to play it a little bit safe, and Kyle gets to run on the exit of 4, and now he's going to pass us right back here with 3 laps to go in the stage. And sure enough, we come through on the exit of turn 2 in lap 23. Same thing. I just could not quite clear Kyle Busch, so he is able to stay ahead of me, and then we come through to now start the final lap of the first stage. A very action-packed first stage here. Martin Truex Jr., though, in front of Brad Keselowski through turns 1 and 2. Myself right here in P4 behind Kyle Busch. We close up to the back of him on the exit of the corner there, but he's going to have a way better exit now as we kind of maintain pace with him, though, as we go down the back straightaway into turns 3 for the final time here in stage 1. Truex to the very top, Keselowski to the very bottom. I get up the inside again of Kyle Busch on the exit of the corner, corner, but not enough there as Martin Truex Jr. wins stage 1, Keselowski second, Kyle Busch third, myself fourth, Ryan Blaney rounds out the top 5 there. As you see, our other teammate Denny Hamlin in the 6th position, but to round out the top 10 as a whole, Cole Custer there in P10, Harrison Burton the rookie up in P9. So right now it's pretty even between Harrison Burton as well as Chase Briscoe in terms of the rookie class, and then Gregson's kind of struggling a bit. He had a great run though in the last episode in Phoenix, but we get ready to go green for stage 2 after the pit stops. Keselowski gets past Martin Truex Jr. on the pit lane here for the start of stage 2, which is now underway here in Atlanta from the 4th position. Can we maybe compete for a stage win here in stage 2? We definitely have the speed in the car, so my confidence is pretty high at this point. Now as Blaney tried to get up my inside, but I actually kind of slow him up there, and now the bottom is completely open. I get up the inside, and now once again aggressive there. We are with our teammates at Kyle Busch and Truex, taking them 3 wide. Out of turn 2, we clear Kyle Busch down this back straightaway. We're still side by side though with Martin Truex Jr. as we dive down into turn 3. Side by side with our Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, but sure enough on the exit of the corner we are going to clear Martin Truex Jr. and set our sights now on the leader of Brad Keselowski here as we try to close that gap to him very quickly with help from that draft. But it's so hard to pass at a track like this here in Atlanta when you get a little bit spread out, I should mention, because you're just flat out the whole time. But sure enough, into turns 3 now on lap 3, Kyle Busch is actually proving that he has way more speed than I do, because he gets up my inside and I just had absolutely nothing for our Joe Gibbs Racing teammate now as we come through down this front straightaway. Truex also showing his nose into turn 1, and I said, okay, you know what, you can just have it here into turns 1, because it's pretty evident that both Kyle and Martin, at least on this early portion of the run, have a lot more speed in the car than I do. So I decided to not really just force it too much on them and just be generous and let them have the positions, and sure enough they would prove their speed because they drive away on lap 6. Now I actually clipped the apron through turn 1 and turns 2. Now Blaney is going to be able to pounce on that opportunity. He gets up my inside as Keselowski is trying to hold off Kyle Busch for the lead now as we're side by side with Blaney into turns 3 now, and we're going to lose the 4th position to him and drift down to P5. Kyle Busch now to the lead, as now Truex would also take the lead from him as we engaged in this battle with Blaney, similar to my battle with Kyle Busch, as I was trying to pass him on the bottom but struggled quite a bit. So we come through to lap 9 there, a little bit of contact with the 12 of Blaney. He gets a little bit sideways but hangs onto it as we come through turn 3, and for nearly clearing the 12, might be clear right there, but we get a little bit loose there, and that allows Blaney to fight back here on the outside as we come through side by side down the front straightaway. 14 laps to go in this second stage, but an exciting race so far here in Atlanta as we continue to battle side by side with Blaney. But we got through turns 1 so well that finally we slide up in front of the 12 car on the exit of the corner here, and sure enough now on lap 12 of the stage, 12 laps to go, Blaney is actually going to be able to get back up my inside into turn 1. I tried defending him down the front stretch, and then I tried to get an arc into the corner, but when I tried to do that, Blaney just said I'm going up the inside, and I just had nothing for him. So we're now side by side again as we're going to run him down the track a little bit. A lot of side drafting right there as we dive down into the corner, trying to get right on that right rear quarter panel to pull him back, and sure enough it works there. But on the exit of the corner he is actually able to get clear now as we come through down this front straightaway. So Hamlin now into the mix, as well as Chris Buescher, as we get back up the inside now of the 12 of Ryan Blaney. This battle is not over yet here as we come through the center of the corner, but we get through there so well. We slide up in front of Blaney, but we slide up a little bit too far, and that leaves the door open again for Blaney to do the crossover on us here. So we're going to be side by side continuously here with Ryan Blaney into turn 3, and then we got Denny Hamlin there ready to pounce behind us as we're still right there on that right side. But he comes into the pit lane, and so does the 18 of Kyle Busch as the tire icon comes on. So now we're actually going to get ready to come to the pit lane now on lap 14. So sure enough, out of turns 4, after that battle had ended, we come through now into the pit lane just in front of our teammate Denny Hamlin. We get down to pit speed with absolutely no problem at all. Very easy call. We came in for the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires, and we had a very good pit stop compared to our competitors because we exit the pit lane relatively close to Martin Truex Jr., at least a lot closer than we were when we came in. We actually beat Brad Keselowski out of the pit lane, and we get such a great exit too onto the track. Truex is a little bit slow, and I'm able to get back past him, and now we're up into P7, but we're going to be leading this race once everything cycles out now. If Truex is not going to be able to pass me, but well, he's actually going to get at my inside now on lap 16 and showing the just true raw speed in that 19 car now as we come through out of the corner. I had absolutely nothing for Martin Truex Jr.'s Kyle Larson. He was the last one to come into the pit lane, so he was currently leading, but of course we're going to cycle out through here into second place, and sure enough we would cycle out into second place now on lap 17 of 23 here. Now we have a spinner though on the front straightaway. Corey LaJoie goes crashing from 32nd position, and the caution's going to come out again. Heavy contact with the 49 as he wrecks through into turns 1, and then Joey Gase gets a huge hit as well as a caution flies in Atlanta, and this is going to force a very late restart here in the second stage. It had been a little bit since we had gotten a crash, but now we do get one. Everybody stays out, and we're going to line up here P2 for the restart at the end of the second stage. Now, is it's going to be probably a 3-lap fight now as the green flag is back out. Yes, 3 laps it is to fight it out with Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, as well as Kyle Busch for the stage victory. Now as we dive down towards turns 1, there you see Hamlin going a little bit low now as we go into the corner. Now going to, of course, trying to get down right on that right door of Truex to side draft him, as there was a little bit of contact made between himself and I as we come through out of turn 2, but we're now going to still be side by side all the way down towards that first seam there on Truex's right rear quarter panel. I was too, just pushing him down the track, just trying to pull him back. Unfortunately, it does not work. There's a little bit of contact there with the 2 of Keselowski, and then the 11 of Hamlin is going to come through on the inside as well as we go down this front straightaway. 2 laps to go in the second stage. Immediately across the 11 car over down into turns 1 and try to pass him back for that third position is now Brad Keselowski. Moves through to take the lead from Martin Truex Jr. We're going to be 3 wide for a brief moment between myself, Hamlin, and Truex. There's Hamlin. He pulls out of the 3 wide, so now we cycle through into the third position, approaching the final lap here in the second stage as we dive down through the center of turn 3 and 4, and we're going to easily pass Martin Truex Jr., clear him on the exit of turns 4 there, chopped his nose a little bit. Now the white flag is out in the second stage, closing very quickly on the back of Brad Keselowski as we dive down into turns 1 and 2, so we definitely have a better car than Brad as we come through right to his back bumper there in turns 2, and we push too hard into the outside wall. Nearly we do clip the wall now as Hamlin is going to get past us as well as we go down the back straightaway for the final time here in stage 2, diving down into turns 3 and 4, and Keselowski is going to be able to hang on as we come through out of turns 4. Buescher and Truex actually putting the pressure on myself as well. We chop Truex's nose, but Buescher is going to get us at the line as Keselowski wins stage 2, Hamlin second, Chris Buescher gets us for third. A great run going for the Roush Fenway driver, and we come through to get P4 here in the second stage. Chase Briscoe, the rookie, rounds out the top 10 now as Eric Almirola is able to get the 7th position here in the second stage, so a very solid effort for him. Harrison Burton down in P12, Daniel Suarez down there in P13, Chase Elliott having a pretty rough run as well. Now, as it looks like Kyle Larson is going to be staying out. I added some grill tape to the car, actually. I felt like we could get away with some grill tape and maybe get a little bit more speed out of the car, but there you see Kyle Larson will now take over the lead to start stage 3. He's had a bit of a rough race here today in Atlanta, not as good as his previous few, but now the third and final stage is underway here in Atlanta, and immediately you see the 43 does not get a good launch, so Larson already struggling here with 27 laps to go, and of course if it stays green to the end of this race, we will have to make a green flag pit stop just like we did in the second stage. And sure enough, as we come through the center of 1 and 2, Larson gets closer to the front of Keselowski as there was a little bit of contact between himself and I now as we go down this back stretch, trying to get right to the back of the 2 of Keselowski, but I don't want to run into the back of him and risk spinning him out into the corner now as we dive down through turns 3 and 4. Up the inside we got Denny Hamlin there as we're a little bit sideways now on the exit of turns 4, running 4th position here as we come through to complete this first lap. 3 wide behind us between Truex, Almirola, as well as Ryan Blaney here as we dive down once again in this corner on the outside there of the 11 of Hamlin, as I'm doing what I can to make this outside work. Larson, he checks up quite a bit and holds up Hamlin, so now Keselowski is clear for the lead as we go down side by side towards turn 3 as we try to clear this 43 of Kyle Larson. But immediately you see we got an issue now as the temperatures are rising on the car, and immediately it would take to an effect as my car just slowed down a little bit here as we are getting taken 3 wide by Truex and Hamlin, and we are getting just swallowed up by all of these cars as soon as these temperatures started to rise. And then Larson, he was so slow and off the pace with the tire disadvantage that we get stuck behind him, but I chopped down in front of Ryan Newman on the exit of turns 4, still up inside the top 10 we are now as Larson sideways through the tri-oval. He hangs onto it with 24 laps to go here in Atlanta. As we get up the inside of him, we would pass him, but the temperatures were just coming into a huge effect as we came through out of turns 4, trying to pass Suarez, but I had nothing for him as Blaney's going to blow right by us. But now we have another crash. The 13 of Ty Dillon goes crashing through turns 3 and 4, and the caution will fly again, which could be a race saver for us because we have to come to the pit lane to take some grill tape off of the car no matter what, but we will not have to pit under green to, of course, take that grill tape off. So this is an advantage for us, but unfortunately, we're going to lose a lot of positions and drift down to P37 for this restart. So definitely a costly mistake from myself, and Larson comes into the pit lane as well. But now the green flag is back out. If it stays green to the end, we will be about 2 laps short. So we might actually be able to save some fuel and make it here. So this could also play into our favor, as well as we could be in position to now win this race if everything kind of plays out. As we're going to get aggressive, of course, right off the bat. We've got to get through the field as quickly as possible here as we come through turns 1 into not the ideal position to be in at this point in the race, with just 20 laps to go here in Atlanta. But we are making up time extremely quickly now as we dive down into turns 3 up the inside of the 37 of Ryan Preece. William Byron not having a very good run as we're trying to make it 3 wide, but we get on the apron, and now we're going to go spinning through turns 4. A little bit of contact from Chastain. The 13 gets into our right front. The caution has once again come out here in the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500, but this time for us, as I clipped the apron, went around, picking up some damage on the right front. Just 100% my fault there, and we will have to come into the pit lane to fix the damage. My fault. Sorry, guys. I clipped the apron and I couldn't save it. There, hear the radio transmission from myself. They're just taking the blame for that incident. There is one thing that came out of that, was we only had 3 seconds of damage. We have to hit the reset button again, right to the back of the field. But one other thing to keep in mind is now the AI, nobody came into the pit lane right there, but we did, and we actually have enough fuel to get to the end of this race. So it's only 15 or 16 laps to go, sorry. And now if it stays green to the end of this race, we will not have to pit, and we could potentially maybe just kind of steal the victory away from the field here, as so far this has been the worst final stage we've had this season as we come through out of her turns 2. Now we're going to have to put the pressure very quickly on these guys once again, just try to get to the throughout the field as quickly as possible, but maybe a little bit safer than we just tried, and hopefully that we don't hit the apron, but we sure enough would just slice through the field. We come through on lap 68, already up into the top 20, passing Kevin Harvick. We come through to now to lap 69. Nice there as we get to the inside of Eric Jones in that number 88 car, and just behind Cole Custer, who battles up the inside of Alex Bowman. But we are in an incredible position here as we make it 3 wide with Custer and Bowman on the exit of turns 2. So we just continue moving forwards now as we would also pass Daniel Suarez. Then we got up to 8th. We passed Eric Almirola and passed him for 7th. Now approaching just 10 laps to go in this race here in Atlanta. And we know if it stays green, the drivers in front of us have to pit no matter what. Sure enough, we come through to lap 73. Less than 10 laps remaining at this point. Up the inside of Chris Buescher. We're going to pass him for 6th place. Get to the back of our teammate of Denny Hamlin as well as we come through out of turns 4. Not going to be able to pass him right there, but sure enough, the next time around through turns 1 and 2, we would sure enough pass Denny Hamlin. Move up into the top 5 here with now less than 10 to go. And sure enough, as we come through to lap 76, we had run down Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr. with 5 laps to go. They all are now going to come into the pit lane here in Atlanta. We take over the lead, and now if it stays green, we are going to easily win this race here. So we might have just stolen victory. We come through in lap 78, just trying to make sure we bring it to the final lap. That's just the main goal. Get to that final lap here in Atlanta. We come through on lap 79, 3 laps to go. The tire icon had come on at this point, but it did not matter. We get to the inside of Brendan Gaughan, and the green flag continues to remain on the track. 10% on that right rear, but we come through out of turns 4, coming through to the final lap in the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now we have 2 wins in our Cup Series career in our rookie season, from the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as well as a playoff victory at Bristol Motor Speedway last season. And here we are in race number 5 of the season, heading down the Spag straightaway for the final time, in position to get win number 3 of our Cup Series careers. Christopher Bell, he just picked up win number 1 in the last episode. He will be replacing us at that 20 car next season, but that does not matter right now. Out of turns 4, we're going to come through to steal the victory in Atlanta Motor Speedway. What a final stage that was. It looked like we had completely given away a chance at victory. We didn't have a car that could win, just in terms of speed. We had a top 5 car in the long run, but there's no doubt in my mind that if it just came down to a battle straight up between Truex, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski, we were going to finish the worst out of those 4. So although things just kind of worked out for us, I guess wrecking myself on the apron actually won us that race, which is very surprising, but we pick up our first victory of the season here in interesting fashion, to say the least. What a race it was, though. Lots of crashes. I think that's the most crashes we've had in a single race of the career mode. So we really don't get used to saying that because we only get maybe one or two a race, but there was a lot in that one. What a race it was here as we pick up the victory in the Sports Clips paint scheme. As you see, there was only 2 cars on the lead lap, myself and Joey Gase. Everybody, of course, had to pit within the final 5 laps, but there you see the finishing order on your screen. So we have a solid finish from Daniel Suarez, Elliott, DiBenedetto, subpar finishes, but there's some big names that had some rough days here. Chastain included, Gregson, the rookie, in 33rd, but Bubba Wallace, unfortunately, will pick up a DNF here in Atlanta. But now it's time for a post-race interview with Jay Cook.
Congratulations on the win, Gary. You didn't look like you had winning speed, and you had some setbacks in the final stage with an incident, but that almost seemed to put you in position to win. Walk us through that race.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, it was a wild race to say the least. There was a lot of action in that one, a lot of crashes. Thankfully, we weren't a part of most of them. We did. I did clean myself out in one of those crashes there. I got into the apron, but stage 1 and 2 went very well for us. We had a very good car, top 5, I think, and then we started the third and final stage. We decided to put some grill tape on the car. Ended up being too much, and the car was overheating right away, and I could feel it down the straightaways. And then a caution came out, put us in a position to come in and give up the track position, unfortunately, but it allowed us to fix what we had done wrong there. But unfortunately, into turn 3, I went and spun myself out, so I completely destroyed everything. But it actually helped us win the race because we didn't have to pit when the other drivers did. So it worked out. Very happy with the win. Hopefully, we can continue that throughout the season. Alright, so there was the post-race interview between myself and Jay Cook, and as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do, and in the next one, we will be going to my favorite mile-and-a-half racetrack on the NASCAR schedule of Homestead, Miami. Still very salty that this is not the championship finale compared to Phoenix. Phoenix is just a terrible finale compared to Homestead, Miami. But in the next one, we will be going to that track. Then there you see the order of the points for both the trucks you just saw and then the Xfinity Series, and there we are now ahead of everybody on the playoff grid. We're having a great start to our second season in the career mode, and hopefully we can continue this on into Homestead, Miami, as well as the rest of the regular season. So there you see Harrison Burton, the last car in the playoffs. But that will do it for this episode, so thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this one, and now see you guys in the next one for Miami. Have a great day, everybody.